everyone, it's Cindy Kaza, and you're listening to the Paranormally Zone.
Look, I know the supernatural is something that isn't supposed to happen, but it does happen.
A ghostly apparition in the dark of night.
Human sacrifice, dogs and cats living together, mass hysteria!
You know, Mike, 3 straight nights I've had very lucid dreams.
Yes,
and
you said something about that, yes.
And 3 straight nights I have had unexplained bloody noses.
Really? Alien abduction. Is this happening at nighttime and you don't know why?
No, actually it just happened right before you got online here and met up with me and stuff. Yeah, just random.
At least it didn't happen while we were recording.
No, which has happened before.
Yes, and it
So
grossed me out horribly.
it was yesterday when I was eating.
Well, that's fun too. Yeah.
Today when I was getting set for the podcast, and the day before that, I don't remember, but it was just very random. But thinking we might need a humidifier or something going in the old room.
You might need to go see a specialist. You might have a brain hemorrhage or something.
Well, the thing is, and don't worry, boys and girls. Don't worry, boys and girls. This is the Paranormally Zone. This isn't the bi-weekly medical updates that.
Not anymore. I quit that.
Yeah,
a long time ago.
No, it seems like bloody noses are quite fond of me. It's something that I've had my entire life, but that's just how it goes. So
yeah. Well, while we were recording that one night, you started bleeding because you were laughing so hard.
Yeah, I would like to think that's why I started bleeding out.
Punched yourself in the nose or something. I don't know.
Yeah, Mike and his zany sense of humor just hit me in the right spot, and there she blows, as we were talking about earlier. So
yeah, well,
or grossly, I suppose we could say chimneys of fire, but that's a whole other story right there.
I was very.
Were you disturbed? Yeah.
But I knew that kind of thing went on, but I didn't.
Well, of course.
The details. That. And the people don't know what we're talking about, do they?
No, exactly. So let's move on. Today I am Bilbo and you are just Mike. I mean, what the heck's up with that?
I don't know. I'm going to have to wait till next time.
You know, for those who aren't aware, we try to surprise each other with our different names at the bottom of the screen here on our conferencing software. I was short round last week. Thinking about being Napoleon Bonaparte, so you can see a theme going in my names. But you're just Mike. You're just Mike tonight.
Yeah. I told Patrick he could be the great Kazoo.
Yeah, and I didn't get it.
Yeah, he didn't get that. But I'm sure there are people out there that know very well who he was. Hey. He was a bugger for Fred and Barney, I'll tell you that much.
Hell, and you know what? That's hip. Hot, and with it today, I tell you, those kids want to hear about the Flintstones more than anything.
Well, of course, Wilma and Betty, 2 of the sexiest cartoon women there are. Except for Jane Jetson.
Okay. No. Okay, sorry. Well, Mike, It is good to see you. It is good to see you. This is, as I mentioned before, the Paranormally Zone, your weekly dose, bi-weekly dose of all things hell. You guessed it. Paranormal, strange, and mysterious. My name is Patrick Koffenberg, and I am joined, as always, by my co-host, the Ghost, the paranormal poster boy himself, the self-described 60-year-old boy with toys, Mr. Mike Carbno. Yeah, Mike, that's how you describe yourself?
But
5 minutes ago.
Because I was wrong though, because I'm a 62-year-old boy with toys.
Yeah, but 60-year-old boy with toy, that has a better ring. It has a better ring to it, I think.
Yeah, so makes me a little bit younger.
Listen, just a wee little bit younger.
Just a wee bit younger.
But it is good to see you, Mike.
Just on the short side of 60, maybe.
Hey, I like that.
I like it too. Oh, either spring. Man,
Okay.
yes, but I like it too.
Okay, you can
Anyway.
stop.
Okay.
Are you done?
Are you going to edit that out or anything?
No.
Okay, let's go.
You have to understand that editing requires work and patience.
Yeah. So I better get my crap together and chill out.
In the decade plus that we've been doing the podcast, I could probably count on two hands the amount of times I've done serious editing, and it's usually because we're trying to save ourselves from utter embarrassment from a terrible segment or two or something. But usually, I mean, we're talking hundreds and hundreds of episodes, Mike. You get what you get. I mean, this is as close to a live recording as you can get because I don't bother editing it. So,
yeah,
which people can probably tell.
Oh, sure, yeah. If we wanted to be professional and edit the hell out of it and put dramatic music, well, you can do that anyway.
Yeah, I do that, but I did that years ago, and people complained about it. So.
Well, I complained about it. You had the music so dang loud; it was like I can't hear anything that you were saying.
I know. I struggled. Okay, just give me a break.
And Bridget would look at you like,
See, I thought I was saving the listeners from my nasally, whiny voice.
So you did it to
drown yourself. Me out. Yes, that's what I did.
Well, you drowned everybody out. Now let's go on with the show.
Mike, we have a cool topic tonight. I think it's kind of cool. I think that you, I think judging by your reactions and your text message exchange with me, this is something that you're pretty excited to talk about. We're talking about the potential reality of an actual Underworld of Souls. We kind of went back and forth with different titles for tonight's episode. I threw out a few. You gave me some feedback. We're thinking about Netherworld, but you said that Mary didn't like Netherworld. So
she thought it sounded odd.
That like your nether regions or something?
Yeah,
is that what she was concerned about?
Nether, yes.
Okay, gotcha. But yeah, we're talking about not necessarily like a hell or a Hades or
purgatory.
Nothing specific. Just to make it easier on us, nothing specific. But in general, the possibility of perhaps a different realm of existence where the souls of all exist, right? Whether it be temporarily, whether it be eternally, whether it be a momentary, I don't know, realm of transition.
How would you? Oh, well, go ahead.
That's okay. It's okay. I think you're going to say depending on how you look at it, depending on how you describe it, how it feels to you and I personally. It's going to be a cool discussion. I'm looking forward to it. So let's dive into that in a jiffy, Mike. First, we have to open up with our Ghost Gab segment, and everyone out there is super excited for Ghost Gab. There it is, Ghost Gab. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. I might put some better music up there sometime. I don't know. You don't like the circus music?
Well, would I? Why would I?
Well, we got some transitions. I can do this. And now you have to listen to this, Mike. And I apologize if this is loud. And now it's time for Ghost Gab.
I like that. That's always a nice transitional sound.
Or hey, boys and girls, it's time for our opening Ghost Gab segment. Maybe? I don't know.
What?
Well, Mike, tonight's Ghost Gab, and the reason you and I really like our Ghost Gab opening segments is, it kind of gets the tongue working a little bit, gets the mind juices flowing, and we're talking about all things paranormal, whether it be personal experiences, personal theories, or perhaps alleged occurrences in the world of the paranormal. This one kind of falls into that category.
Mm-hmm.
I'm giving this to you organically, Mike, because I want to see your reaction.
Yes, please.
I'm talking about a story I saw on the old twit. I'm going to give a shout out to this Twitter handle. I think everyone should go follow this. This is @OddOldNews. I love this site.
I just started following that.
Oh, did you? Oh, that's great.
I did. I believe.
Every day they were posting such great stories, and they're usually shared via screenshots of old-ass newspaper clips, newspaper clippings, so to speak. This one, Mike, was from the Alexandria Gazette. This was published December 22nd, 1892.
Alexandria where?
That's a good question.
Good question. Matter. I was wondering if it was Alexandria, Minnesota. I love that town. Anyway, go ahead.
Thank you for sharing. Any other towns that you love?
I love Park Rapids. I always have.
Anything else? Away. What else do you love? No, what else do you love?
My wife.
Oh, okay.
I love my wife.
The short description here before I read the very brief newspaper clipping is French physician has recorded a very extraordinary case in which the nightmare attacked an entire regiment of soldiers on a certain night. So this is how the story goes. And I want your thoughts, Mike.
Yes.
On what the hell could have been happening here.
Mm-hmm.
As we said, the French physician recorded a very extraordinary case in which the nightmare attacked an entire regiment of soldiers. Dr. Laurent, the physician in question, Michael and listeners, says that he was a surgeon of the 1st Battalion of the La Tour d'Avenir, I can't pronounce it that well, Avenir Regiment, when it was garrisoned in Palmi, Calabria. Palmi, Calabria. I don't know where that is. Any Calabrians out there? Let us know.
I think
goes on to say
Ancestry.com thing.
Oh,
I'm a Calabrian. No, never.
I thought you were going to say that was another medical ailment of yours. I think I had Calabria once. It says, Mike, at midnight, one night in the month of June, the order of march with all speed to Tropia, 40 miles away, was given. At 7 o'clock on the following evening, Tropia had been reached, scarcely a single halt having been made by the way. Now, the men were in a pitiful state of exhaustion. But after a hearty meal, all retired for the night, the sleeping quarter being an abandoned monastery.
Spam and eggs they had, and they loved it. Anyway, go ahead.
Just before taking possession of the building, someone in the neighborhood informed the soldiers that the monastery was in fact haunted by the apparition of a spectral dog.
A dog?
This story soon spread throughout the regiment, making some feel uncomfortable. But the majority of the men seemed to regard the whole story as a joke, most of them declaring that it would, quote, take a good-sized ghost dog to disturb them after such a day and night of marching. But alas, Mike, the story continues. At about the hour of midnight, what?
Yes, it does, I'm sure. There's so much to go.
At about the hour of midnight, the deep silence was broken by scores. Now, this is real, so I don't mean to sound dramatic and cheesy when I'm reading this. But at the hour of midnight, the deep silence was broken by scores of loud, wild cries of terror. The white-faced soldiers rushed tumultuously from their bunks in every direction, and one and all at once told the commanders the same tale of superstitious horror. Every man in the regiment had been visited by the phantom dog, in which they described as a great, white, shaggy beast with skull denuded of skin and flesh and monstrous eyeballs of fire swimming in blood.
Horror.
The horror. The men immediately took to the fields and outhouses rather than again face the terrors.
I love it. Keep going. I love it. Great story.
The men immediately took to the fields and outhouses rather than again face the terrors which they knew to be upon the inside of that deserted monastery. Would you stop laughing?
Good. Yes.
Yes, Mike, outhouses did exist. And they were used quite often. Yeah. We had an outhouse out here on our land.
For the original farmhouse it used to be.
Yeah. So they would rather do that than face the terrors which they knew to be inside that deserted monastery. Although to the average reader, this may read like a real ghost story, the physicians, surgeons, and scientists declare that it was in fact, quote, an attack of simultaneous nightmares, and that other cases, quote, even more remarkable, have been recorded. said the St. Louis Republic. So, Mike, that's the story. The doctors, physicians on hand put it aside as simultaneous nightmares, but the entire regiment said they had been attacked by the spectral dog, or at least it appeared to them at night. So much so that they all ran to the shitter, because they didn't want to see this damn thing.
Right, you can fit about 10 guys in one of those.
Well, true. So, so again, Mike,
you got upstairs, you got downstairs. They can go.
Anyway, I agree. Your thoughts on that for our Ghost Gab segment, Mike?
Well,
vibes.
That whole mass nightmare thing. It's like explaining away a UFO sighting of, it's just mass hysteria, mass
hallucination.
Kind of thing. Yeah. Mass hallucination. That's ridiculous. If you got a huge crowd, how is one person that is on one end of the crowd and doesn't even know about another person that's on the other end, and they both have the same thing? Mm-hmm. I mean, what would be causing this mass illusion?
That's the part that's intriguing to me. I mean, this is an entire regiment that fled in terror.
Yeah.
And we're all describing the similar spectral dog, or whatever it may have been.
Yeah.
Denuded of skin and flaming eyeballs.
It's a
Are you getting that's and it's in a monastery, Mike. They're in a monastery. Hellhound.
Yes, the monastery was being attacked by a hellhound, and it just whatever was there wasn't safe. I don't know.
Wow, that's a definite creepy possibility. I like that idea. I'm thinking it's definitely some sort of, well, obviously to me and you, and potentially to believers and open-minded skeptics out there like myself, that it's paranormal in nature, and it's not something psychological or something that can be diagnosed as like a mass psychosis. Even after a long trek for 40 miles, the soldiers themselves were saying that they were joking about this ghost dog.
Yeah.
As a potential reality. They're saying, "Oh, we've had a hearty meal, we get a good night's sleep, and this is a bunch of nonsense." But then, yet they all flip out.
Well, and it's obviously been witnessed before. How many people have seen it before to know that this place is supposed to be haunted by a
great point,
a hellhound or a dog?
Great point. That is a great point.
Now, do we seen it? Yeah.
Do we look at it on the other end? Do we play devil's advocate and say that since that notion was kind of instilled in their mind, that maybe they did somehow create a little wee bit of mass hysteria amongst themselves? Maybe one person was freaking out, and by his initial freak out, everyone else kind of fed off of that. Yeah.
Well, that's a good thought. But
that's a possibility.
But still, I mean, did it say how many men there were that went through this? Was it
just a regiment? Just a regiment. Well, I didn't get any numbers.
Then it'd be a pretty good sized group of men, I'm sure.
Yes.
But even if every one of them heard the story about, there's a possibility, or it's haunted by a dog, everybody that does instill something in their mind, but not every man is going to feel the same about the story. There's going to be probably more that say, well, that's just a bunch of crap, and throw it out. If there's a small percentage that are freaked out by the story, maybe they would witness this and see it.
Mm-hmm.
But then, I don't know. It just doesn't work.
It's intriguing as hell. I mean, I love cases like this. Again, alleged cases. We have to put the alleged on there.
But paranormal, I say paranormal.
Yeah, paranormal, and not a happy paranormal experience.
No, absolutely not.
Straight out terrifying. Yeah. You threw out Hellhound, and again,
that's the first thing I thought.
Taking place in a monastery. I mean, is it some sort of evil entity that's taking the shape of a quote unquote spectral hound? Who knows?
Yeah. Might be old Slewfoot himself, you know.
You never might be old Slewfoot.
Yeah,
Old Slewfoot likes to play pranks on the old soldiers in the regiment there.
Yeah, my feeble brain just about put old Clubfoot is on the loose again.
Lord. No, I don't think so. I
Anyway.
don't think we have to worry about clubfoot or anything like that. So,
No.
and no offense to anybody out there who suffered from clubbed feet.
Oh, hell no. No.
I'm just
I
saying,
didn't
Mike,
laugh when I said
we
it.
have to be careful about everything
Yes.
we say as
Well,
podcast hosts. You have
Even
to throw
just-
those disclaimers out there.
Even just for the fact that we respect everybody and their feelings.
Yes. So I'm just expecting to get a hate tweet by someone who has a club foot out
Well, you know, hey, everybody out there, you know, just if give Patrick a break. I mean, send him to me.
there.
I'll take him and
Oh no, I don't want to come. Now you're making
I'll
me sound
even-
like I'm a little I don't know, ultra sensitive wee little man who can't handle the
I'd even give
ups and
everybody
downs.
my email address.
Mike, again, we've been saying it for over a decade. When you're a public platform, you're going to get crap. And so it's just how it is. Just how it is.
Well,
So.
Yeah, I guess.
I guess.
So are you done with this?
I'm done. Yes.
Spectral. I got one thing I need to interject, and it's about
yes,
here,
please.
at home here.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, so the lady in the kitchen, okay, that lost her son,
Yes.
whatever.
Yes.
How, you and I feel like we have had some contact with her. We've had some EVPs or some spirit box situation there.
Yes. And very quickly, in case we do have new listeners tuning in, you're referring to an experience you had in your kitchen where you heard like a kind of a phantom spectral phone call, so to speak. Well, I don't know if it's spectral, but a phantom phone call and
the phone ringing like an old phone.
Yes. And the story goes and was confirmed essentially that a woman in that house received a phone call about her son, that a tragic phone call that she reacted to so emotionally and strongly that she herself collapsed and eventually died.
Had a heart attack and did not.
So that's what you're referring to, just in case someone is new to the program and listening. So sorry, Mike. Please continue.
I concentrate and focus on these things in the house quite a bit. Or if I'm out in the kitchen, I just get this flash of a lady. I can see her. She's on the phone. She's in that general area, and she got shorter, dark hair. She's wearing like a house coat type thing, like an older something. And I mean, that's her. That's in the kitchen. But along with that, I've always been getting this Mabel, Margaret, and I'll even say it out loud sometimes. It's like, like if I'm in the kitchen and heading up to bed, so all right, Mabel, Margaret, have a good night, whatever, just kind of
sure, yeah.
And I did say that one day I'm going to look at the abstract and see if there were any Mabels.
Yes,
any possibilities, or if there was, it could be coincidence. But I was perusing, starting all the way back to 1882, the mortgage and the family and the people that lived in there, and going down. And I got to 1944, and there was Mabel.
Really?
Yeah. So
for real?
I was kind of excited about that. Yeah.
Now this is not something that you have looked at before, where it might have subconsciously stuck in the back of your mind.
No, I have never. Well, I have, but the only thing that I remember from reading anything in the abstract, and it was years ago, was a family that lived here with 2 boys, and the guy died here. It was, but otherwise, I don't remember any of the other families that I can think of.
That's really interesting.
But yeah, so from now on, she's Mabel.
Mabel. Ah.
Yes.
And you said it was 1944?
1944.
So yeah, there would be phones in the house.
Absolutely.
Wow. Damn.
And the old ringing phone, like I heard.
Yes.
that one eating. It was like 2:00 in the morning, and it was like it was faint, but it was right there.
Next time I'm at your humble abode and we do any sort of paranormal investigating,
we will.
We have a name. We have a name for sure.
Exactly.
Now, again, that would be really intriguing for us. Well, and for me right now to go back to the old stuff we posted, like when we do a spirit box at your house, and see if you had ever said the name Mabel during any of our investigations.
Yeah, that would be awesome. That would be cool.
Ooh.
Yeah. So, interesting.
Well, Mike, on to the topic at hand.
The meat.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Damn.
What?
Sounds like you could do a Subway commercial with that voice or something.
We have the meat. Come on down and get a Subway. $2.99 on sale today. Only for 1 hour. Be here.
Yeah, too late. Yeah, it was on sale 2 hours ago.
We're done.
Yep. The Underworld of Souls, Mike.
Yes.
First and foremost, I give you a good-natured good time, or hard time. A good-natured hard time. How about being the reborn Christian that you are? You're a man of the Lord nowadays.
I have a great belief and a faith in me. Yes, I do.
I don't know why I'm talking in this
Neither do I, but you're making me do it, so stop it. I do it too much the way it is. Jeez. Yes,
so do you believe, Mike, in a hell? If you believe in heaven, well, kind of, I suppose that yin yang, there has to be a hell. Do you believe in hell? And that will be a good transition into our discussion.
I believe there is a hell. As a Christian, you have to, have thoughts about these things and decide if you are going to believe these things and if it's the right thing for you to be progressing in.
Oh, sure. Absolutely.
So, the definition of hell is I think a very tough thing, though. It's like going way back. It's like, the bad stuff, the burning and the fire and the lava, the flames. And, I don't believe that is an actual hell. I think that's, I know it says stuff like that in the Bible, which I have no idea where or how it's said, but, I think hell is more of it's like an individual thing. It's I wish I could explain it, but it's
so it's not necessarily to you a literal physical
place. Correct. Yeah, but
it's more of an individual torment of some sort.
Right. Well, there's like say people that go to heaven. I think, which I think is such a majority of the people anyway. But there are people. We know that. We've seen it too much. That I think when their time comes, individually, they're someplace. Maybe they're like in a limbo, but during that limbo, they're just in like extreme agony and torment and body, mind, and soul. You wouldn't have a body or whatever, but you know what I mean.
As part of our Patreon exclusive episodes, we have another sub-series of our Patreon exclusive where we are sharing, various chapters from a book called 23 Minutes in Hell by a man who claims to have died and went to hell for 23 story. Minutes. We have shared 2 chapters. Hopefully soon we'll get back to another one as we briefly go over what he describes happening to him. And from what I recall, and from what we've gone over, the definite suffering is physical in a lot of natures.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of natures, is that how I want to say it? I don't think I said that correctly, but I think you know what I'm trying to get at.
Mm-hmm.
He describes demons. He describes fire and intense heat that you can't even fathom.
Yeah, actual creatures and like it
Yes.
was real to him. It was like he was
Real to him.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, but again, the power of the mind, the power of anything spiritual, whether it be the malevolent or benevolent,
Yeah.
which side of the spiritual realm we're talking about here was he, for example, in a literal physical place, or was it just of the mind, so to speak?
Well, I'm gonna tell you what I think, and I'm gonna tell you why.
Yeah, but please do.
Yeah,
that's what we do on podcasts. Believe it or not, people talk on podcasts.
well, okay.
Just so people know.
Now, don't make me forget what I was gonna say.
Okay, sorry, go.
Okay, so the thing that I think of is, okay, in that story or in this event or whatever, he was explaining how this extreme burning and extreme agony that he was going through, and there's nothing that could stop it. Nothing that could stop the burning and the fire, and because he physically felt his skin like coming off.
Yes.
But the thing is that as long as he was going through all that stuff, as he wasn't dying. He wasn't, being let go to be relieved of all this torment that he's going through. So to me, that's not a physical person in a physical location because of that. That makes me think a little different about it.
Mm-hmm.
What if something is put into the person's mind that is so, that is so real, like if you want to think Satan or whatever.
Sure.
And in your mind, you are living that entire thing, the feeling, the agony, the torment, but you're not physically there where you're burning, but it is put on you that you're going to feel it. You're not going to die. You're not going to burn and be done. You're just going to continue to feel that.
You could be lying on a cot in your backyard.
Sure.
While this is going on.
After having a massive coronary and you're just laying there dead and gone.
Oh, damn.
I don't know.
Morbid. Hello.
I don't know.
I like that thought though, because I don't want to give away my opinion on it quite yet. We got to leave it up there because our listeners, you got to give them reasons to stick around for the entire episode, right, Mike?
Well, that's an asshole thing to do.
God damn it. I'm a horrible person and a horrible podcast host.
That's why the news, they always say, stay tuned for this story.
Exactly. Well, they'll do it like this. They'll say, stay tuned for the end of the hour. We will tell you an item in your house that could kill you.
Yeah.
At the top of the hour, we will let you know. In the meantime, you're like, well, what can kill me? Come on. Yeah. I think that was an SNL sketch back in the day. That was greatly done by good old SNL. But
yeah.
So, Mike, you don't necessarily believe in hell/Hades as a literal place, but you're not throwing out the possibility of it, though.
Oh, no. But, if you want to think of it as every single bit of it is supernatural, anything is possible.
Right. That's the thing. That's kind of what we're talking about here with the underworld of souls. The idea of there actually being another... I'm not even going to say a physical place. I'm just going to say another realm, like another realm of existence where souls either originate or where souls go when they leave their physical vessels, right? We've talked several times about the possibility of souls as eternal, and
energy does not die.
Energy does not die, but that energy /soul can inhabit several different physical vessels. More than several, perhaps infinite number of physical vessels, such as these bodies, right? Mm-hmm. So when those bodies die and the soul is transitioned, does the soul return to a quote unquote underworld? Now, underworld has kind of a negative connotation to it.
It does.
And I don't really want to look at it as that way. I want to kind of look at it as a place for the souls to hang out, Mike.
Well, that's where they named it that. You're confusing everybody. Mostly me. Oh, go ahead.
No, we're going to get back to that as being like kind
Yes.
of the supernatural realm for the bad folk type thing,
Right.
you know?
Right. And so we are actually talking sections or separated locations.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
what I picture is a place, whether I don't know, wherever it is, how it is, whatever. Like 3 gigantic, huge pods that are kind of put together, so they're touching, and each one of these have.
Okay,
have
are you
these,
setting me up for a bad joke, or are you serious right now?
No, I'm serious. That's the first thing that was pictured into my mind. It's
God,
like
sorry.
they're in
Sorry.
different places that are all it's subject to what you are deserving or how you what kind of a if you're good or evil. But and we're
And one of
talking.
those is like, are you saying like one of those is like purgatory, and the other one is the quote
No,
unquote hell, and the other one is heaven, or am I wrong on that?
What we're talking about sounds like a heaven and a hell, but
Yeah, it does.
we're not going down that road. I mean, we're talking about something totally different. And now, if that is something totally different, why would these groups of people be sent to this place that we're talking about? And what about everybody else? Do they go to a heaven? It's you know what I mean? Because not every soul is going to be in these areas, or is that what you intended? Was it?
No, I see what you're saying. The term pod just kind of threw me off a little bit.
It's a bad example, but
well, not a bad example. It's a classic Mike Carbno example. I think it's great.
Yeah. Well, think of it as each one has one of those underground electric fence things that if you get too close.
Oh, sure. There you go.
So that's what separates all these souls.
Oh, I'm looking at something here, Mike, just for a reference, just to kind of spark our brains here. I'm looking at a site called ancienttheory.com, and then we're talking about ancient theories on ghosts and spirits. And some portions of this article does in fact talk about like an underworld, so to speak. Okay, like Greek mythology is loaded with talk of the underworld.
Like the ferryman or something like that, or whatever.
Ancient Egypt, the land of the dead, for gosh sakes. There is.
Well, they basically worshipped, that realm, and but yeah.
I'm just trying to find a good spot to start. Well, we'll start with the Greek mythology here, Greek and Roman perspectives. Yeah, Greek mythology the concept of the afterlife for Greek mythology is very complex. Or complex, however you decide to pronounce it. The underworld, ruled by Hades, was the destination for souls after death.
Right.
Not necessarily not necessarily where souls originate, right?
Mm-hmm.
Greeks believed in the existence of, this is interesting, the existence of shades, ghostly versions of the deceased who resided in this gloomy realm. Again, we mentioned that earlier, how the underworld has this negative connotation. The Greek mythology, its version of the underworld, the gloomy.
It says here, like a gloomy realm of darkness, swamps, and black rivers located beneath the earth. It's one of 3 realms that make up. That make up the cosmos.
Well, listen to you. You're like your 3 pods was your own Michael Carbno interpretation or description
of Greek mythology.
Yeah, there you go.
Called the ferryman. Who transports souls across the river Styx or Acheron, whatever that is. Hermes, who guides souls in his role as Psycho, pompous soul guide. The River Styx. Yeah.
Good band, right? Isn't Styx a 70s rock band?
80s-ish. I love Styx. I still do. The Gatekeeper, Cerberus, a three-headed hound. That's all part of that whole, underworld, traveling into the underworld. The ferryman on the little boat thing going over.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. I'm sorry, my microphone was muted there. I didn't realize
I know.
that.
I was enjoying that. Go ahead. Anyway. Don't look at me like that.
Listening anyway.
Yeah. Not anymore, anyway.
No, the notion of an actual physical realm. I think we both, for you and I think we don't buy the idea of a physical location for an underworld. I think it's a definite possibility that it's another. How we overuse this term, but I'm going to say it again, another dimension. It's another, we talk about breaking that paranormal veil. Is it possible to break that paranormal veil and head to this underworld? I know that Mary didn't like the term netherworld, but I liked netherworld better because I shouldn't say I liked it better, but I'm saying netherworld seemed a little more, apt to be interpreted as potentially positive, whereas underworld is strictly, it's like, ooh, underworld, gloomy, death, sadness, despair, and all that.
Rot and decay.
Yeah, 100%. Well, you saw the image I sent you. It was the AI generated image for the podcast episode. I think I typed in like underworld and like paranormal and otherworldly realm, and that's what it came up with. And what was it? It was a really cool image, and we're going to use it.
Awesome.
But it's not exactly happy.
What was that app called again?
Oh, I'm not. It's my Photo Express / Adobe Express app.
Oh, that's not like a Play Store thing you can get download or.
No, you can. Of course you can. It's on my phone.
Okay. Idiot. Okay, what was that again? I want to write it down.
Well, it's the original one is PS Express, and then I upgraded it to Adobe Express. So.
Well, yeah, but that takes money.
It unfortunately does, yeah. But you know what? It saves you from copyright infringement problems when you're trying to find cool images for podcasts.
Absolutely.
Podcast thumbnails. You don't have to worry about it. But
well, I'm going to try that out. Doggone it.
What do you think about the underworld of souls, Mike, so to speak, is simply like a metaphor? Is it something that just parents tell their kids these stories, and it have been for generation after generation after generation, just to keep them from being naughty? There's absolutely no possibility of this being reality in either your mind or a physical location. Mm-hmm. It just simply doesn't exist. It's just simply a metaphor / a scare tactic to keep you on the right track.
Well, there are theories that a lot of things are scare tactics that started way, way back in the writing of things and
the writing of things. I like that.
Well, biblical speaking.
I know what you're saying.
It could be. I'm not saying I believe this, but it could be like a way that whoever maybe has slipped something in there to keep people or keep their kids in line. If it's just like threatening. It's like, if you do this, you're going to get this.
Of course, yeah.
And so they take that to the extreme, and they're going to scare them into behaving a certain way, possibly being more focused on a certain religion, maybe. I don't know. It's interesting.
There is one description that I found, Mike, in a spiritual context, where an underworld is represented by, or can be represented by, a realm of the dead. Or I should say it represents a realm of the dead, which we were kind of talking about a little bit. I briefly said a place perhaps of transition, so is that kind of purgatory, or even a hidden dimension? where the spirits of the deceased do in fact reside.
I love the idea of dimensions.
I love the idea of dimensions too, and I wanted to start with the simple well, it's not simple. The concept of like a spiritual residence, where all the spirits go to hang out. I mean, my mind.
425 Maple Street, 3:00.
That too.
Yeah.
My mind it's incapable for me to wrap my mind around.
Oh yeah, we're not meant
notion.
To be able to.
We're not meant to be able to, because we can't get past the physical. We just can't. The idea of our bodies, as much as we believe that we are souls residing in a physical vessel, where the physical vessel will die, it's still tough to wrap your noggin around that. It just is. But this idea of, Billy Bob passed away, and now Billy Bob's gonna go hang out, or Billy Babs, one of the two.
Billy Bob passed away, and Billy Bob, she's not very happy about it.
Billy Bob is not happy about Billy Bob. God damn it! I thought I got rid of you, you son of a bitch. Yeah.
Oh hell! Anyway, damn.
So like all this corny humor pops into my brain. It's like, so the ghosts hang out in this realm. Is there a ghost bar? Do they go and chill out? Do they have ghost dances? I mean, I don't know. I'm being silly, but I'm saying that to make a point where it's just impossible for me to wrap my mind around it.
Mm-hmm.
Can you, Mike, somehow fathom the idea of an infinite amount of souls like coexisting in a realm together?
Yeah.
I can't. I mean, I don't think I necessarily want to try and figure that out, because I don't think that there is an even slightest glimmer of potential reality when it comes to that. But this is a podcast, and we're talking about all this stuff.
Right. Yeah.
The mind is unbelievably powerful, but we have yet to tap into the true powers of the mind. I think maybe some of that is spiritual in itself. Are you giving me faces like shut up, nerd, or what's happening?
No, I'm listening to you. I was wondering if you got my text message.
You sent me a text message? No, I didn't.
But anyway,
well, it better not be I need to go or something like that, because we're in the middle of recording here. But for Christ's sake.
But yeah, it's such a great topic. I mean, there's so much you could dig into with this.
Let's see here, Mike. Yeah, we can pause for a moment. We can do a time traveling excursion. We haven't done that forever.
A long time.
Yeah, exactly. We'll come back and we'll refresh our minds. Maybe?
Selves.
Well, I don't need to wash up a little bit. Well, maybe I'll wash up my crusty nostrils from my nosebleed earlier today. That sounded absolutely disgusting. I'm sorry for putting that vision in your mind.
See what color the wet tissue comes out.
Tissue. All right. Hold on, boys and girls. We need to have an experience, I should say. A long overdue time traveling excursion. Fret not, fear not. We shall return. We will be right back. And we're back after a long overdue time traveling excursion. Mike, are all your bits still in the proper order, proper place? Everything's good?
The old audio bits. Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Twig and berries all put together.
Okay. Just making sure you're not like President Scroob in Spaceballs, or like your ass isn't on the front anymore, right?
Yeah.
Mike, some symbolic representation here of the underworld. Got some good stuff that we can go by here, and it will spark some of our conversation pieces, hopefully. Some of this we've already tapped into. The underworld can potentially symbolize the journey from the physical world to the afterlife, a period of transition and transformation of the soul. Okay, maybe we'll do it this way. I'll read some of these symbolic representations, and we'll discuss briefly your vibes on that. So you're thinking about the underworld potentially being a place, a final, not a locale, I'll just read it again. The underworld can symbolize a journey from the physical world to the afterlife, a period of transition and transformation for the soul. So what do you think about the underworld as being a period of transition, place of transformation?
I do like that idea, because I just feel that there's got to be some form of transition, in that realm. I mean, it's a trend. Well, everything's a transition. I mean,
yeah,
when
that's
you transition into your life, you transition out of it, and then wherever you are after that, you're transitioning into wherever next is.
I like that. Wherever next is.
Yeah.
That actually sounded kind of powerful there, Mike. Wherever next is.
I thought I was talking kind of dumb, but if you like it, that's fine with me.
So it's kind of looking at it as like a subway rail station, or people are just waiting to be picked up and taken to another place. That's kind of like, that's where the the underworld, spiritually speaking, is. It's like, well, people being dropped off and other people taken away.
Yeah, but they can be there for eons. So I mean, who knows how they would interpret or feel time?
That's it. That's just it. Time is such a human concept. I mean, time as far as we know, doesn't even exist.
No. Yeah,
that's a whole other conversation. That's gets your brain a wee bit scrambled every now and then. Mike, the underworld potentially can also represent the hidden or unseen aspects of the spiritual world, a realm beyond our ordinary perception. So that's interesting. Can potentially represent the hidden or unseen aspects of the spiritual world. That's interesting. I'm not even sure if I can wrap my mind around that. I like that idea, though.
Like an underworld of the spiritual world?
Yeah, kind of. It's like the underworld represents the unseen aspect of the spiritual world.
And what would the unseen?
I mean, are we talking about the unseen from a human perspective? Like when you're walking on Earth right now, we cannot see that realm of that hidden aspect, or even fathom it, that hidden aspect of the spiritual world. But if you enter the underworld, then bam, there it is. That's what you cannot see when you are, in fact, still existing physically. Whoa, man, my mind just kind of melted a little bit. My brain melted, I mean.
Yeah.
Thank you for your feedback. Yeah, he says.
I thought
Mike, I applaud. I applaud you.
I have nothing. Applause.
Sorry, no, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Anyway. Some mythologies, when it comes to the underworld, for example, ancient mythologies like Greek and Egyptian mythologies feature elaborate underworlds with deities, demons, and various realms for the dead. Now, are these, quote, mythologies based on any reality? I believe in demons. Do I think that demons lurk in some hellish underworld? I don't flippin' know. I definitely think that there's evil out there, and I definitely think demonic entities exist. But do they all gather up in the demon bar? Again, there we go back to the bar. There's ghost bars, there's demon bars, there's
well, on Wednesday they serve little smokies and pickled
little
herring.
Smokies? Pickled herring at the demon bar?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man.
I'd go there just for the pickled herring.
I think that's what the strip club in Boyd was called, the demon bar, wasn't it?
Oh, no, it was the pickled herring, I thought.
The pickled herring, yeah. Actually, it was called, well, I won't shout it. I don't know if I'm allowed to say what it's called here, but I thought that was hilarious that we found out that it was actually a flippin' strip club.
Yeah, well, it sounds like they serve food there.
Yeah. Well,
you don't get anything in your food or anything, but anyway.
Hinduism's version of the underworld, the Patala, is one of 3 worlds. Well, there you go, Mike. 3 again. Yeah. There's your 3 pods.
3 is a very specific spiritual number, I believe.
Well, it is. It is for sure. It is for sure. Patala is one of 3 worlds beneath the earth where souls go after death.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's hellish in nature itself right there. I mean, as a child, I was certain that hell existed below my feet,
Yeah, well.
Yeah, that's just how you were kind of taught, I should say.
Mm-hmm.
You thought of it as an actual physical place. You thought of it as the core, the flames, the hot, the molten magma of Earth,
Hot molten magma.
Buddhism, the Buddhism underworld, the Naraka, is associated with hell realms where individuals experience the consequences of their karma. So, again,
like
very similar. That's definitely, again, yep, 1 and 2, Hinduism, Buddhism. You're going to be naughty, you're going to go to hell. You're going to go to Naraka. You're going to go to Patala. And I apologize if I'm butchering the,
you're going to go to H-E double hockey sticks.
We'll just call it that. We'll call it that.
But, it's like in cultures all over the world, they have such a similar, belief system like that. And where do they get?
Right.
Where do they get that same belief system? Going back eons.
Yes.
That's an interesting thing. Where these
where did that original spark come from? Where all of these different interpretations grow?
Right.
Spiritualism, Mike, as a modern religion, also acknowledges the existence of a spirit world, which can be seen as a broader term for the underworld. So, yeah, again, I mean, I'm going through these examples just so we can, like I said, perhaps spark some talking points here, but there's so many different interpretations of it, so many different descriptions of it, so many different versions of it. It's which one's real, which one isn't. None of them could be real. I mean, all of them could be real in their own way.
Oh, sure, yeah.
The possibility of multiple realms. Some spiritual traditions, like those within shamanism, envision 3-tiered cosmos. There you go again. 3-tiered cosmos with an underworld, a middle world, and an upper world, each with its own inhabitants and characteristics.
Yeah, see the characteristics. That plays a big part of it.
That's very interesting.
Of each individual are like separated into their appropriate realms.
I hope I'm an upper world, if that's the good place.
Probably upper something.
As he takes a slug off of his Coke or whatever the hell that is.
I hope he didn't hear that.
Just a look of condescension on his face when he said that too. It's like
kind of rolling my eyes as I'm
just like, God damn it!
No, I'm just kidding.
Back of his mind, he's just giggling away. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, that's right. We could always play that game too. Is this computer or is this real? Okay, that's obviously you.
Yeah. I didn't play that game very well.
We mentioned this earlier, like personalized realms, personalized interpretations, personalized versions again of hell. Whereas the underworld is not necessarily a fixed location, but it is in fact a personalized experience shaped by the individual's spiritual journey and beliefs. I kind of like that one. We briefly touched on that before. Mike, what would be, I have asked you this 1,000 times on the podcast, and I know what your answer is going to be. What would be your personal hell? You can say it again.
I don't remember what I said before.
Oh, okay, let's go. Well, I'll leave it at that. It was something about ex-wives, if you remember that.
Sure, I'm sure. I got too many of them, I'll tell you that much.
And then there's a possibility that hell / the underworld is not necessarily punitive at all. Where some mythologies depict hellish conditions for the underworld, it is not always viewed as a place of punishment. It can be a place of rest, transformation, or even a vibrant, active realm.
and a good massage.
A good massage realm, for sure.
Sure, it goes along with it. You get a
Do you
nice
guys-
plush robe and a towel.
Do you massage feet down here in the underworld?
Yeah.
I always love Mike's sigh like that. That's always like, I'm done talking,
Yep.
sigh.
It's just, yeah, that's it. Carry on, let's go.
You really, you have nothing to add to this at all, or I mean, you're like done for the night. I mean, what's happening?
No, am I okay? Yes, I was going to say something, but then I got all wrapped up in wherever I was going with that last thing, and so I was gonna add. I was gonna contribute.
One thing I noticed, and I'll love you to death, Mike. One thing I noticed staying at the Boyd house, with you and attempting to sleep, with you right next to me and your recliner, and I'm in the nearby recliner.
That's when you yelled at me.
And and you were snacking.
Snacking. Yeah.
Because you were very impressed with the snacks at the house.
Oh, man. They had everything there and lots of it.
I just remember I'm struggling to fall asleep, and I was so tired. And I did fall asleep right away, but then I woke up, and I'm like, God damn it.
Or I woke you up.
I can't get there. I can't get back there, because all I hear, aside from the wrappers slowly being torn open,
I think those are Rice Krispie bars.
some gurgles,
Yeah.
But
that was
always,
cola.
always, and I'm God bless you. I don't know what's going on, and I also noticed it on the playback of some of our digital recorders too. When you're eating, maybe it's when you're eating when you're.
Now
when
remember,
when you're super tired.
Don't throw
No.
me off.
I'm not throwing you off. Because it's a very obviously you are very content when
happier
the
than hell.
but I'm saying when you're eating you're very content.
Oh yeah, shove Rice Krispies mixed with marshmallow. Shit, I'll take that all day long.
Oh man, it's.
Little bit of
I'm going to
vanilla.
try and do my my impression of
Boy,
your
here we go.
sounds. Like I said, throw aside all the other things I threw on there,
Mm-hmm.
and imagine yourself trying to sleep, and then hear then things dropping and all that stuff, and Mike adjusting himself on the recliner, and
I couldn't get my butt all the way back, and
No,
really
I get
killing
ya.
my back.
And I could tell when you took a bite of something and you put something in your mouth, and then you're chewing, and which is fine. The chewing's fine,
Well, sure.
but then you always do this. Then you go.
I'm trying to catch my breath. I think 'cause it takes too much energy for me to eat. I don't know.
Every time there was just this exhale, but again, like I said, it's probably an exhale of content because you're just you're like.
Know. I don't know.
While you're still.
I usually don't do that unless I'm really in pain. I don't know.
Because I was listening to more, and we'll get back to the topic at hand, boys and girls. I'm sorry. I was listening to yet another digital recording session just yesterday, and it was towards the end of it, and we're having kind of like a quiet time because it was the last recording we did. That's right. This is getting close to 3 a.m. It's around 2:30. And we're doing like the knocking. It's like, if you hear this, maybe do the knocks back. Yeah. And I would do that. And we were silent. It was really silent for a while.
In the dining room there, or that one parlor between the living room and.
Yes, we were in the parlor. Yep. And I'm doing that, and it's silent. And we both kind of, at a couple points, we thought we heard stuff upstairs, Right. And then, of course, when we're listening intently, a wrapper is undone.
God. I'm glad you're telling me because I need to be aware of this crap.
A bite is taken.
And the sigh.
And the sigh. I'm exactly.
I gotta quit that crap.
And I speak. I let the digital recorder know. I said, Mike just took a big bite of candy again, and you corrected me, and you said, nope, it was a Slim Jim. So,
they had those little mini Slim Jims. I had like a dozen of them in my pocket, I think.
It's like, oh my God damn it. I mean,
I think I even brought some home for Mary because she loves Slim Jims. Oh, I gotta quit. I'm gotta quit that shit, man. I don't like that at all.
No. Yeah. And that I'm sorry, I have to say this too, because I'm piling on now, but it's fun. It's all in good fun. Yeah. The very big
tell me on,
the
whole world. A lot of the world is gonna know how kind of a pig I am.
No, you're not. No. Not at all. I'm not saying that. I'm not suggesting that.
Anyway, no.
But at the very beginning, it was classic though, when we first set up and we're doing the Estes and I have the digital going. And the digital, I'm not kidding, Mike, it got up to over 8 flipping minutes of the digital because I was like, okay, we're starting right now. Click, the digital goes because we're going to start. In that digital recorder, all you hear is me and you because I kept stopping the night vision recorder because you could not get set. And you were sitting in the chair there, and you kept on going. It's like, oh nope, hold on, and you're messing with the spirit box, and you're going back and forth. And at one point, I'm sorry. I did kind of say like, God damn it, we're over 8 minutes now. It's like, let's go.
I remember that.
So I'm sure I came across as a jerk there. I didn't mean to sound as a jerk, but man, good times. It was.
Well, I blame it on my medication.
No. I'm not even saying there's anything. I brought this all up in good fun, Mike. It's all
sure. Yep.
Good.
Yeah,
good fun.
I understand.
Yeah. Sorry.
But no, I'm glad you told me because now I have to add this to my list of things that I have to really, really work on.
Well, I hope you realize that the listeners right now, they all love you more than me anyways, which is fine. I accept it. It's true.
I never get any messages from anybody.
They're saying they're going, God damn, Patrick, you're an asshole. It's like, no, it's all good.
Anyway.
We're going to end on some quotes. Well, not some quotes, on a nice little written. God, I don't want to call this a poem.
Poem.
But the beginning part of this is
a haiku.
It's actually really, really well written. And I want you to react accordingly if need be. This is simply, and like I said, this isn't a generic rhyming poem or anything like that.
Okay, thank you.
It's The Underworld Journey, is what it is titled. And it goes as such. Every awakening...
Am I going to get emotional?
No. Well, okay. I don't know.
Okay, go ahead.
And it goes as such. Every awakening involves a death. The death of old social ideas, the death of old stories, the death of identities. To die means to journey into the underworld and reemerge new and clean. We cannot evolve unless we learn to let go. We cannot let go unless we embrace change. And we cannot change unless we stop trying to control. And what are we afraid of? The underworld journey itself. Because this means the end of the old way of life. And rightly so. This path means sure death and destruction of everything we are afraid to lose. Yet it is the mythic path that draws us ever onwards in life. The path of renewal and resurrection. The path of evolution and emergence. The underworld descent is a key part of the journey of life, of soul, and of spirit. Every great myth, every great hero's tale or adventure involves a path into the depths and shadows of our existence. I like that. You're muted. Sorry, that wasn't me.
I love that.
Wasn't that kind of nice? I like that.
Oh, fantastic. Boy, your thoughts on what you read?
It was sincerely. I mean, if you really dive into it, it's pretty deep and pretty. It can be kind of emotional. I mean, yeah. I mean, to be frank, and you can be Mike. I'll be Frank. I still have that part of me that is definitely afraid of death, and I can't shake it. And it's something that I wish I could, because it's going to happen. And
that's common.
100%, and I'd like to think of myself as being reasonable enough to let go, as that saying, let go of those fears and and just accept it, and accept it as part of a journey. It's not an end, it's a beginning, so that's difficult for my mind to wrap around that, wrap around the idea of it.
We can't.
Yeah. As being a beginning. It's not an end. It's just the beginning of that next step, So it's, I liked it. I thought it was very well written. And it means a lot. It can definitely mean a lot. I mean, I'm assuming you kind of feel the same about those words. It's something and we're not trying to get all deep and misty eyed and trying to sound like we're smarter than we are, because we're not, but it's
all a learning thing, that hey girl, I've just been accosted by a beast.
Oh, another one. Why you call Mary a beast? Good Lord. Oh, the dog. Sorry.
This is the big furry one.
Again, Mary, why are you ripping on her so much? Oh, sorry.
Yeah. But anyway,
my jokes are lame tonight.
I think that whole writing, it does say everything. It's like everything is included in this journey, and in many different, I mean, you can take that in different interpretations as well. And, it's so eloquent and so well written, like you said. I need a copy of that.
I could send you I can send you like a screenshot of it.
Yeah, that would be awesome. Yeah. Yeah, I love that. I want to read that more and study it a bit.
There's actually, I actually cut it short. It's actually a couple paragraphs longer.
Okay, cool.
But I'll send you the beginning of it for sure. I mean, that first, the first line, every awakening involves a death.
Yeah.
And to die means to journey into the underworld and to reemerge new and clean.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah.
Kind of a filtering process, right?
Yeah, it's like
filtering our soul.
Yeah, it's like these spiritual kidneys. My dog didn't like that.
No, the spiritual kidneys. Mishka didn't like that analogy. Mike, any final thoughts? It's getting kind of late here. I'm sorry. Thank you for making this work. Any final thoughts on the idea of an underworld of souls? I mean, we kind of gave our basic, I don't want to call them generic thoughts, but off the cuff takes on the idea. I think it's safe to say we both agree that there's not a literal underworld. But we're not throwing out the possibility of it being a real, literal place. It's definitely more so a place of the mind, if anything.
Which, to me, is still just as real.
Oh, amen.
As a physical, location. It's especially when every soul that is in whichever, dimension or whatever, dang, I just lost my train of thought. Why did I do that?
Because Mishka has been throwing you off.
I'm really trying to, but
I think your mind has traveled to another underworld at this moment, perhaps.
Yeah. Just momentarily, yes.
But you were kind of getting at how it's more powerful, being a mindful thing of the mind.
Sure. Because it's like reading a book or watching a movie. Of the book,
Sure.
It can be a beautiful, representation of a book and everything, but so much is missing. You read the book, and
that's a fantastic way of putting it, because when you're diving into that book is in your mind. You are seeing it as you read it
intensely,
and so you have that version in your mind, and it hits you so much more, no matter how well that movie could be done. and several have been done, there's always that part of it's just not like the book, it's just not there because there's no room for interpretation, because you're seeing it in front of you. And it's like, well, that's how they're presenting it, but that's not how I saw it. Then that's not how I experienced it in my mind.
Or you felt or anything. Yeah.
That's a great way of putting it. Very, very good way of putting that. I like that. Well, Mike, the 62-year-old boy with toys, thanks for making this work tonight. This went rather smoothly.
Yes.
You look crystal clear on your new webcam. I'm looking forward to hearing you on your new podcast equipment.
Yeah, I got a
next time we get around there.
Yeah, I just need to get one little thing to hook up the little mixer and my new microphone. So,
well, if you lasted this long, if you're a listener, we thank you so much. If you lasted this long and you enjoy the podcast content, no better way to support us than perhaps giving our Patreon page a try. That's right. We just released episode number 88, Patreon exclusive episode number 88. We were talking about alien abduction, experience or commonalities. That was a really cool discussion. We had 88 exclusive episodes available for $1 a month. No obligations. A lot more is available on the Patreon page. We would love to see you guys check it out. And we thank each and every one of you who has checked it out. I mean, that means a lot to us. It's a passion project, and we're constantly adding new stuff. A new Retro and Randoms episode is coming up next. It's not next right now, Mike. Don't freak out. I'm not talking about
No, I was like, I just can't wait for Retro and Randoms.
Yeah. So that's going to be good. Season 3 did begin a couple weeks ago, and now we're coming up with episode 2 of season 3. Mike, any final departing words for tonight's episode? Any thoughts? What are you guys going to do? Do you have to go potty? I mean, all that good stuff.
No, I don't. I did that on my time traveling.
Oh, see, you blew it. Dang it. People are supposed to honestly believe that we time travel.
Hey, I time traveled. It just so happened that I had to pee while I was time traveling. And
that's fair. That is fair. That is fair.
Sure. I mean, you still got to go no matter where you're at.
No matter where you're at.
No matter when or where.
Black hole or white hole or anything like that. You got to go when you got to go.
Holes now.
Okay, I'm sorry. That was uncalled for. Well, I think we did talk about the Underworld of Souls for about 20% of the episode, so that's good enough in our books. So.
Well, it doesn't matter what we think. It matters what the people think.
I know. And I'm kidding. It was a good discussion, Mike. Thank you for joining me tonight. And thank you all for tuning in. Mike, until next time, my friend, what do our paranormal pals need to do?
As always, just peace out.